Hello and welcome to the Friday edition of Global Morning. We call it the TGI edition of Global Morning. Should I be saying happy weekend already, or I should just wait for the next few hours, even though some persons' weekend already started? But for us, we are here because we value you, and it's so delightful to have you at the other side. My name is Ramsey Enoch Abu. Welcome to Global Morning. And of course, my guest is here. Did I say my guest?
What?
Today? No, that is a promotion. All right. From co-anchor to guest. She's going to be playing a dual role today. So don't be surprised if you see her coming from all angles, different angles, front, back, left, right, and center. I'm talking about Jemima Massey.
I was just stunned. I was just looking at you like this. I said, what's going on? What's happening? How you doing, Ramsey?
Yes, I'm good.
It's great to be. I want to act like a guest. It's good. Thank you for having me on the program.
Oh my God! Thank you.
I want to stay humble.
Thank you for coming around.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. All right, to each and every one of you out there, it's great to be here. It's Global Morning on Global Television. And yes, Ramsey is correct. It's a TGIF segment today on Friday. Thank God. If you're wondering what that is, thank God it's Friday. And we are here to give you the best when it comes to news and current affairs. You are welcome to the program.
All right. Well, let's get started with a few discussions right here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, but I am sure that there are so many things happening. From the foreign scene, of course, the European Union imposed a ban, of course, on the purchase of import and transfer of Sudanese gold.
Yeah.
Why? Because they said it's aimed at cutting key source of funding. But then, see, I'll always bring it down to our country.
Okay.
I'll always bring it down to our country.
Bring it down.
This is something that a country is putting a ban on.
And it's a source of revenue, by the way.
Yes. Now, do you know that? What Nigerians, the federal government is using now as a major source of income is fuel.
Yes.
The crude.
Yes.
And someone said something the other day, while we're driving home, someone said something in the car that, when the Strait of Hormuz was closed, it was an opportunity for Nigeria, right, as a country that is blessed with this natural resource called crude, to sell to every other persons that couldn't have access, especially in Africa, for instance. But then, the president said our crude already is being given out in exchange for money. Loan, we are using it to repay loan, and it's going to be running for some years. That some Nigerians don't know that our crude right now is not even enough. And I was thinking, could that be part of the reason why Dangote has been lamenting? Nigerians are saying, yes, we have crude. Why is Dangote importing crude? Why is Dangote insisting on dollar, you say selling in dollars and all of that? This is a country that have said, no, this is our source of income no matter what it is.
Yes, it is.
We wouldn't want to trade it for anything. The question is, these are humans. I know everybody think differently, but I'm still waiting for a time that we would have such leaders that will say no for this. No. Because apart from the crude, we have some other natural resources. Somebody was telling me, said, gold has just been discovered somewhere in one state. Is it Katsina or Bauchi also? Has just been discovered. Uranium, we have, a lot of resources. That even the crude, there are other states that crude have also been discovered, yet to be exploited. So we put all of this together, and you keep wondering, when would the issue of I'm satisfied, I don't care about the other person, when will that end? Because if you look at it critically, you just run into a conclusion that, these people, they don't know what Nigerians are feeling, because some of them don't even go to the market to know how much is the price of commodities. Some services, they have people that run errands for them. You know, if you want to talk about fuel, they don't even go to the filling station.
No,
so they don't really know what is happening, so they don't care. That's what some Nigerians are thinking.
No,
But
they
I
don't
know
care.
how
They're
true.
ignorant. They're not in the know for some. But some don't even care. But some, they're not in the know because they do not have time to dabble into going to
There's a president that said he's not aware of certain things sometimes.
No, you did not, but that doesn't mean he doesn't care because he doesn't know that this is the plight of what most Nigerians are going through. There are some individuals that don't even know why should they go to the filling station when they have people to do that. Like, hello, why should they have people, they can actually give, this is the service that people render to them, so they pay for that. It's not that they don't really care. They're very empathetic because when you ask for favors, they will gladly help out. But some things they just don't pay attention to, basically, because it's not important to them. But that doesn't mean it's not important to you and I.
All right, we're waiting for when all this scenario will change, when things will get better. I'm so optimistic. That's the kind of person that I am. I'm so optimistic. And it's exciting that the federal government has launched a $500 million Niger Delta agricultural investment, a lot of investment fund.
Fantastic.
Who was it? It was on Global Morning that someone was talking about, one of our guests was talking about what to explore, opportunities that the federal government is supposed to create for the people.
Agriculture.
Yes, and he was talking about where to get loan, how to go about it. Some Nigerians are not aware and all of that.
Yes,
and he said if you go to his car now, that he has something there that he's selling, you know, all these things. I think this is a welcome development, but this should not just be at the Niger Delta alone. It should cut across all
borders,
all the regions. You know, the north central, the south, the southeast, the northwest, everywhere. But how many Nigerians? Somebody told me just a few days ago that agriculture. He didn't know that farming is this expensive.
Really?
And I was like, well, if it is expensive, it is because probably you don't have what it takes. Because one thing with farming is you put in the effort, then during harvest, you start reaping and you forget it. Just like a woman in labor. You know, during labor, all manner. But when the child arrives and you carry your baby, you forget about everything. And some say, oh, well, I will never go there again. I will never go there again. But before you know, after some, you see another pregnancy and all of that. So, as a matter of fact, agriculture is same thing. You put in the effort, whether it's raining, whether it's drizzling, you are in it, you are tilling, you are cultivating, then during harvest, you smile. True. But I think the federal government needs to encourage agriculture the more. Even though some persons will tell you, well, there is fight,
insecurity,
attack, insecurity, we can't go to farm and all of that. There are little ways that you can still farm, even at the back of your house.
True.
Like we heard
Dr. Hawa.
Dr. Hawa told us the other day extensively. So, but then, the women may not be able to do all the farming.
No, we can't.
But they still have a role to play.
I'm just kidding when I say no, we can't. Some can. Like, of course, you see Dr. Hawa, she's into farming back of her house, and she's generating fruits and all of that. We can. There's a way you can actually support that, and it will go a long way so that you will not be idle. And I believe that agriculture is one source of revenue that if we put our mind to it, it will yield a lot of fruits. Like what our guest said, it will. We are all just concentrating on oil, fuel, crude oil. I think there's more resources that we can explore to give that basic revenue for Nigerians. It will go a long way, basically.
To go a long way. So I'm excited that everything, the investment, everything the government is doing is to boost production
and the
economy of the nation. So at least kudos to the federal government for doing that. We are still expecting more. from the government, and to whom more is given, more is expected.
And then one more thing, Ramsey, you know, our guest mentioned that the government is doing so much, that there are so many things that the government is doing that Nigerians are not aware. I think a lot of awareness needs to be put in place. Some of these policies are beneficial to you and I that we do not even know about, that can benefit you, benefit me. I think the government needs to put it all out there in like you said, different languages. It will go a long way, promoting it all the time. And like he says, that's where the media comes in, so that we will actually know that there is work in progress for the benefit of you and I in Nigeria.
All right, everyone. Those of you that are scared of the state police being used, the Speaker of the House of Representatives have said, well, plans are on ground, strategies are on ground. As at yesterday, Tajuddin Abbas, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, said, well, for the fear of Nigerians as regards the state policing, they shouldn't worry that there are strategies put in place to ensure that the state police, the framework contains a very strong constitutional safeguard to prevent governors and political actors from using them. You know, most of these things happen with inducement. Somebody will tell you, oh, they are giving you this, something that you not get until you retire and you're refusing it. This is a mentality.
Yes, it is.
This is a mentality. You don't eat your future from today. But I'm so excited that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, is saying this and giving Nigerians confidence.
Yes.
See, the worst thing that will happen to a nation, number one, is to lose hope, all right, and trust in its government.
Or leaders.
Or leaders, that's the government. Secondly, if you want to do anything, and before that thing even happen, you or yourself don't believe in what you want to do, the effectiveness of it, there is no need doing it. So I love the way the heart of Nigerians are being prepared. We're talking about state policing here. The state police cannot work in isolation. They need to even work with the people in the communities, in the states where they will be posted to. But if we have this mentality of, be pleased, there is a perception Nigerians have about the Nigerian police.
Very true.
It's not all of them, but the issue of corruption, trust, say, your brother is a police, even if it is your brother, if it is your family member, you know how Nigerians talk. So if they don't believe in this state policing, they will not be able to work with them. Because if they don't have people to work with, imagine, it doesn't matter whether you're carrying gun or anything. If anybody hates you, they hate you. And that hate can degenerate to something else. You understand? So it is something that is supposed to be arrested from the beginning before it escalates. So I'm excited that the authorities are now seeing the body language of Nigerians, which may in turn or in the future affect the effectiveness of this state policing. Majorly, they are there to curb the security situation, the insecurity, everything. So Nigerians need to believe in what they can do. But then governors, I think it's high time you allow these people to function. Let's take a quick break now. After this break, we'll bring you Taste and Textures. Stay with us.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG. All right, you're welcome back from that very short break. And like my co-host mentioned, up next is my favorite part of Global Morning. It's the breakfast segment when it has to do with food. Yes, taste and texture is up next. Let's learn something yummy-licious and tasty. Stay tuned.
Hello everyone and welcome to Taste and Texture. The plan is to prepare an easy Nigerian delicacy and we will be breaking down the entire process with you. In today's episode of the program, we'll be focusing on ewagoyin. Ewagoyin, also known as beans and stew, is always a delicious and simple breakfast option. This one is a recipe that is filling, delicious and nutritious. Main ingredients: honey beans, onions, dried red bell peppers, also known as tatache, dried chili pepper, palm oil, salt, seasoning, plantain, and water. Step 1. Place a clean pot on the stove and add your beans. Step 2. Add water, onions, and salt to the beans and cover to cook. Step 3. For our stew, add your dry peppers into a bowl, then add hot water to soak the peppers in order to soften them. Step 4. When the peppers are soft, add them into a blender with onions and blend till smooth. Step 5. In a pot, add your palm oil and chopped onions. Fry the onions for a few minutes till brown. Step 6. Add your blended peppers into the pot and keep stirring. Step 7. Add your salt and seasoning and keep stirring. Keep cooking till your stew becomes dark brown. Step 8. Check on your beans. Once cooked, mash your beans in the pot. That's it. Your ewagoyin is ready to serve and enjoy. You can pair it with plantain, bread, yam, and other options. That's it on today's episode of the program Taste and Texture. Hope you will try these recipes in your various homes and hope you enjoyed the program. Join me same time next week for another episode of the program. I am Saadatu Garba. Thank you for watching. See you again.
All right, you're welcome back from that very delicious, mouth-watering, tasty segment on Taste and Texture. And of course, hope you'll be trying it out, is the local mashed beans and sauce known as ewagoyin. And Ramsey, I'm sure you've been in Lagos, you know what this is all about, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
But I do it more with bread,
Yes.
very soft bread.
Okay.
You know, there is this, I don't even like using, it's a local dish.
Yes, it
so
is.
I like using local bread, the agege bread, kind of. There's one agege bread that the middle is, you know, it's like this. You cut this part, then the middle. Mm-hmm. Then there is a way you open it up. Sometimes I even put it in the middle of the bread.
God, this is cracking me up. Okay, so the middle, you cut this part, you cut this part, the middle. Okay, we get it, no problem. But you can have that with yam, boiled yam. It's really nice.
Boiled yam, it's good.
Yes, it's tasty.
It depends on the individual. Some people use plantain, some
Yeah.
people use boiled yam, some people use bread.
Okay.
And some people even eat it like that with gari. Yes.
Okay. Well explained.
Yes.
Well explained.
That is, if you don't want to be hungry until 9 p.m.
Okay. Okay. All right. Without much further ado, we just saw that segment, taste and texture segment. Hope you will be trying it out. It's simple. Believe me, it's delicious. Coming from me, it's delicious and tasty, and it is a must try. Next, let's get inspired on Global Morning with the heart-to-heart inspirational with my amazing co-host, Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Stay tuned.
It's another beautiful day here, and I'm so excited to come on your way right here as we talk heart to heart. Sometimes it's better to discuss things that will move us forward and be sincere to ourselves in every way possible. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. We want to look at packaging and peace of mind. We already talked about the first part of it. This is the second part of it. This is more like a part 2 of it. I want to encourage everyone that it is better for you to be yourself and live fine with the rest of mind that you ever crave for than you packaging to glorify fake lifestyle. Take for instance, a lot of people celebrate hard work, integrity, and of course contentment. But then it's good for you to teach especially your children the dignity which matters more than appearance. Dignity matters more, much more. Let me use the word much more than appearance. Why did I have to say it so? It's better for you to teach your children, your kids as they are growing, that there is no shame in starting small. But then, do you know that our kids, the people around us who are children, copy more from our actions, from the things we do, even unknown to us? Somebody might be saying, I'm not a parent, I don't have kids and all of that. People's children that are around you, your nephew, your nieces that are around you can learn from you. Even children in your compound can also learn from you. But then how are you living your life? A lot of people live fake life, which is not necessary if you ask me. So what do you need to do? Teach the kids, the children around you, the people around you who are looking up to you. Let them know that peace of mind is one of the greatest blessings on earth. As a matter of fact, let me just remember, and I want us to know that there is something very powerful. Packaging can attract what we call temporality, all right? It is temporal. Money can create attention temporarily. Then we are in the era of social media, of course, where a lot of people do so many things, a flamboyant life on social media, but in the real sense of it, if they live, that life is known as a fake life. So social media cannot create what you are looking for. It can only create what we call illusion, and it's temporal. But peace of mind, as a matter of fact, gives you health. It helps you live healthy, gives you long life, make you live longer, clarity, joy, true happiness. Well, happiness is free, they say, but so many things have robbed us of our happiness. Yeah, a lot of people have sold their happiness on the platter of this is not good this time, on the platter of fake life, all right? Packaging, wrong packaging to impress people who may not even contribute anything to your life. They may not even donate or contribute anything meaningful to your life. The only thing you will hear is, oh, wow, you look this, you look that. But then choose peace of mind over pressure. That's my advice for everyone. Choose contentment over competition. Choose purpose over appearance. Choose reality over packaging. Because at the end of the day, peace of mind is greater than packaging. So what do you have to do, especially in Nigeria, people in Nigeria? Well, I want to let you know this. Nigerians are seriously blessed. Nigerians are blessed people. But then a lot of people want to live like other persons, and you are living a life of another person. It means you become a second-hand human being. You're living a second-handed life because you're living the life of someone else. But then I want you to know that there is something that you need. Lasting peace is better than temporary packaging. All right, my people, I need to let you know this, that a small house with peace of mind is better than a mansion full of a lot of shouting, bitterness. You know, before you get to your home, you feel very bad. You don't even want to go home anymore. But then you got into that home because you want to impress. Someone said something and they said, well, a lot of people are getting married to fake people today. People who live fake life most times attract other persons who are living fake life. But unfortunately, some persons fall victim into the hands of these people who are living fake and packaged life. Then at the end of the day, you see that after a very short time, because two fake people came together, that relationship, that marriage will never see the light of day because this is fake. Originality is not there. Everything is based on packaging. It is not necessary. You need your peace of mind, your rest of mind, because peace of mind comes from contentment. It comes from living within your means. It also comes from honesty. Like I said earlier, if you're honest to me and I'm honest to you, we'll go far than when you're being fake and be fake. And you know, one fakeness, all right, if you're fake in one thing, you will need to be fake in the other thing to balance the first fake appearance that you put up. All right, that's what it means. And it's going to get you involved in so many things that will bring disaster to your life. So what you have to do, be contented, all right, as much as possible. But then I want to let you know that there are so many things you need to do. Avoiding unnecessary competition is very important. Just make yourself feel like I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm on earth to fulfill purpose, and you pursue your purpose. Live life, all right, to the fullest. But then it comes with so many things. First of all, knowing that your journey is different from another person's journey. Everybody's on a journey of destiny. You are heading somewhere, I'm heading somewhere. But the truth is that on this journey of life, you are going to meet a lot of persons. But who is going your direction? Who is not going your direction? Who needs to enhance your movement on this journey? Who needs to add one or two things to this journey you are embarking on? Who needs to do one or two things to increase your speed on the journey of life? This is very important. We are all on a different journey. You are going somewhere, I'm going somewhere. But then your ability to be able to know that this person is on the same journey, all right? Maybe the person might not be going your distance, but then that point in time when you met this person, what is this person contributing to your journey of destiny? Very important. You need to know who is living a fake life, who is just packaging to impress and all of that, and who is living a real life. Because if you want to do copy, at the end of the day, it might not go down well with you. But as a matter of fact, even our elders understood this principle. All right. Many of our parents lived simple lives, but this was dignity, unity, and peace of mind. No one bothered them for anything because they lived their lives the way they want to live it, the way they are supposed to live it. But some people have more gadgets, some, but less happiness, more gadgets. A lot of people even borrow. Let me say this. I don't know. Some person, there are people like that. Maybe there's somebody listening to me right now. The person may have a lot of gadgets, iPhone this, iPhone that, but then every knock on the door, the place you took loan from, you are scared if they are the ones. All right. But the truth is this, not everything that glitters is gold. Somebody may look very successful outside, but still be emotionally broken inside. And that is why we must stop appearances. All right. Don't use appearances to measure success. It's not. True success is sleeping without fear, eating without pretending, living without fake pressure, having genuine relationship, and being able to smile sincerely. The smile that comes from the mind. I call it sincere smile. Peace of mind also means protecting your mental health. Stop forcing yourself to belong to where you are not valued. Stop killing yourself to impress people. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to another person's chapter 20. Start from somewhere. And that is all I have for you today on Heart to Heart. I believe we've been able to talk heart to heart. Have a beautiful day ahead of you. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo.
All right, you're welcome back from that heart-to-heart inspirational with my amazing co-host, Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Very inspiring. Fake life is destructive. I totally agree. You should be yourself 100%.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Because it has led a lot of people to the grave. It's either take people's life or render people useless or end people in regret. So it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
And if you start it, you need to maintain it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the implication of
So
it.
just be yourself.
Just be yourself
Just
from
be
the
you,
beginning.
please.
Improve on yourself.
It saves a
But
lot of
don't
stress.
be fake.
No. Just be you.
Because it deprives you of so many things. Connections.
Exactly.
And when people get to know that, so all the while, this thing has been a fake thing.
Can you imagine?
People run away from you.
And that's true.
And it deprives you of so many things. Destroy destiny.
Please just be yourself. Just be yourself. It's more easier. It's stress-free. You don't have to stress yourself by being you. You're authentic the way you are. Thank you, Ramsey, for that amazing, inspiring segment. Now, at about this time on Global Morning is the newspaper review segment. And we're going to start with the first paper of the day. It's the Daily Times. And above the nameplate, and you will find that news there on the Daily Times. It says here, police to conduct autopsy on psychotherapist who died in Minister Umahi's residence. And then next it says here, can Nigeria sustain FX recovery with record external reserves? And of course, below that, below the nameplate, it says U.S. Congress approves suspension of financial aid to Nigeria over Christian persecution. And still on the paper, it says appeal court set aside lower court nullification of INEC guidelines for 2027 elections. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the Daily Times. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed to avoid fake news. Next paper is the Daily Trust. Over to you, Ramsey.
All right, everyone. Let's quickly look at the Daily Trust newspaper for you this morning and see what the papers are saying. As a matter of fact, on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, we have some very striking headlines, beginning from below the nameplate. Below the nameplate, we have this headline, which says, INEC guidelines. Appeal court dashes hope of politicians and political parties. INEC dashed the hope of political parties and, of course, politicians. Phantom Council DG held at former SARS headquarters. So many things happening right now. It's not a fake DG right now, but then we're talking about a phantom council DG that's been held. HIV malaria treatment may suffer as U.S. moves to cut aid. This is what talking about. I've actually worked with an NGO before, and one of the most ravaging disease in Nigeria, sickness in Nigeria, is malaria, of course. And I don't know, like abroad where they do a general fumigation using the helicopter and all of that. We don't have that in Nigeria. The highest we had was the distribution of the treated nets. But then, I don't know how far that could do, but then I think this is a sign that the federal government needs to rise to the occasion. If US is cutting its aid, then we need to sit and rise up to the occasion. Now, the big story, deaths at Umahi's home calls for investigation mounts. I don't want to say much about that. Achimogu forfeits 4.6 billion naira jewelry cash to federal government. If you want to know who she is, the picture of the cars are there. You can see Rolls Royce, you can see, in fact, very, very expensive cars, and everything plus the jewelry is worth 4.6 billion naira. This is one person. Achimogu is her name, and you can see the picture right there. All right, we still have this one which says a focus shift to state as INEC opens governorship assembly portal tomorrow. All right, that is on the Daily Trust newspaper. And then we also have this one, man arraigned for allegedly killing wife, setting home ablaze. What could be responsible for this? This is also worth investigating. Could it be drugs? Could it be psychiatric issue? Whatever it is, I don't know what will prompt a man who marries a woman to to kill or take her life and then set the house ablaze. Well, this is not a good one. Food price remain high despite drop in inflation. Well, we need some economists to tell us why. And those are the headlines for you on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning as we move to the Daily Sun newspaper.
All right, on the Daily Sun newspaper, and then beside the nameplate on page 27, it says, Obi prioritizes education, healthcare in second phase of new Nigeria roadmap. And like I mentioned before, that is on page 7. And below the nameplate, it says, Tinubu unveils $3.05 billion anti-poverty human capital program. And then on page 6, and that's the star story there with two riders, it says, terrorism, U.S. reps move against Nigeria. And the first rider says, pass bill to withhold assistance until terror attacks are addressed. And the next rider says, UK reaffirms support for Nigeria's security sector reform. And below that on page 6, it says, appeal court upholds INEC's 2027 election timelines, and the rider says voids High Court judgment. And on page 5 it says 2 die in Osun violence. Adeleke reacts. And on page 21 it says dead people's names remain on INEC's record, and that's from the INEC chairman Josh Amupiton. And on page 25 it says 210 trillion naira missing funds claim false. NAPI IMS XGM tells Senate. And basically those are all the major headlines on the Daily Sun. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast with the major issues making rounds. Next we have the Nigerian Tribune. Over to you, Ramsey.
Thank you very much. Let's get to see the headlines from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. On the Nigerian Tribune, we have some very striking headlines. Court orders a final forfeiture of 8.94 billion naira assets, 11 luxury cars, cash linked to Aisha Achimogu. Women jewelry, luxury life. That's what we're talking about. Some lives are very destructive. Now,
what are you saying?
It's embarrassing. No, I'm referring to Aisha Achimogu, of course. Then this one says CPPE worries over renewed acceleration in food inflation. Details you can find on page 6. Then this one says appeal court validates INEC timetable on 2027 elections. And one writer to that story, and the writer says a strike down portion of Electoral Act as unconstitutional. All right, strikes down portions of Electoral Act as unconstitutional. Details you can find on page 22. This one says article MBF Nance orders demands probe. Of course, she's like a daughter to me. I am mourning. This is Omahi saying this. All right, she's like a daughter to me. I am mourning. That's Omahi. All right, let's see what the investigation is going to present at the end of the day. New bill proposes. That's just all that I have to say. But then if this is being enforced, it's going to go a long way at stopping so many things, because if you get to this, let's take for instance, church gets traffic light. You see a lot of accidents, especially weekends. You see people not trying to beat the traffic light. You run into another vehicle and you see a lot of accidents.
But there's a camera.
I don't know what the camera is doing. If it is functioning, I don't know, because we heard sometimes back that we had cameras in FCT, but then that doesn't stop anything. And some people said it's never worked for a day. So I don't know if the cameras at the traffic junctions are working. I don't know. But we heard is, well, if you beat the traffic, it will capture your number plate, your plate number, and when you want to do a renewal or anything, whether your license or maybe your plate, you want to change your number or anything, it will appear in the system, and you will be made to pay. I don't know how many people are paid. I don't know if it is still working, but this is a good one. All right, abducted person in schools attacked rescue. That's Kogi government saying that. And of course, the writer says bandits killed as security agencies free victim in Kwara community. Then this one says, still have some headlines here. This one says 210 trillion naira missing fund claimed force. Bala Wunti tells Senate. The writer says no money went missing under my stewardship. A foreign reserve now $52 billion. This is CBN governor saying that. 2 killed, several injured in Oshobo shooting as police launch investigation. Troops raid criminal hideout in Ekpe, arrest 24 foreign nationals. All right, foreign nationals. All right. Those are the headlines for you today on the Nigerian Tribune as we move to the next point of call, which is the Guardian newspaper.
All right, now, the Guardian newspaper, below the nameplate on page 3, says Bajagbamila slams 15 billion naira suit on Adeyemi as group demands probe of PFIPC scandal. And on page 3, it says FG unveils $3 billion social protection human capital development initiative. And on page 3 again, it says U.S. welcomes talks on country of concern, designation as Garcia ends visit. And on page 4, where the big story lies, and it says how hungry Nigeria loses 38 million tons to poor post-harvest plan. That means we have to go back to our drawing board. Now, at Chimogu, court orders forfeiture of 4.6 billion naira jewelry, 4.3 billion naira cars, others. That's on page 7. And Ramsey was trying to say something. I think he wanted to include that, saying maybe the fake, women and jewelries and cars and all. Well, we understand how it is.
So men inclusive.
Yeah, men inclusive. I like that.
Greed and
all
this accumulation, show off, and all of that.
Not really show off. It's just some of the basics of life. People just find, they find
to the detriment of a system.
Yeah, which is wrong though. But genuinely getting it is
keep your. See, if you're flamboyant, keep it within your means. You don't steal to stay flamboyant. It's an error.
Yes, it is. All right, let's move on now. On page 29, it says NASU insists on autopsy, demand probe of Habila's death. And I followed this story, and the father says there's no need for autopsy because he doesn't sense any foul play. But let's just see what this brings.
The father doesn't own the child alone.
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, let's just see.
I remember Umahi is a public figure.
Yes, he
whose
is.
name has to be cleared.
Yes, exactly.
So the father saying that is even making it more suspicious.
He said he doesn't suspect any foul play. So, well, let's just see what this brings. And on page 6, it says mixed reactions. Trial appeal court ruling restoring INEC timetable. And on page 7, it says new Nigeria roadmap. Obi prioritizes education, healthcare, and policy blueprint. And on page 28 on the Guardian, it says Osun Post Oni warns against bloodshed as gunmen killed 2, injured 6 in fresh attack. And on page 19, it is a picture of Olayemi Cardoso. It says CBN tightens NOS on FX dealers, caps weekly purchase at $150,000, and that's the business segment. And on page 30, it says troops rescue Kogi NECO exam victims hours after abductors demand 10 million naira. Very unfortunate, but fortunate incident, we thank God. But these demands by kidnappers, I told you, this is the fastest way in which they make money, and they will definitely, this menace will be curbed soon as possible. Next, we have the Punch, and Ramsey will run us through.
All right, let's quickly look at the Punch newspaper for you this morning. On the Punch newspaper, we have this headline: Senate bans preaching, hawking in commercial buses. Then this one says, hawking in commercial buses, Senate. Well, I think if you want to, no, sometimes you feel whether it's, I don't know what Nigerians will think, but maybe nothing to treat and all of that. Maybe commercial drivers are complaining and they can't talk to the people.
Really?
So Senate, what will I say? Among everything happening in Nigeria, this is what Senate is deliberating on?
I was just...
So that's what it means. It means the commercial drivers have gone to the National Assembly, maybe during the open week, and have complained that people are coming to sell in our cars, or people are coming to preach in our cars.
We have more pressing issues. I think you're trying to be sarcastic.
I don't know. So
we have insecurity that we're trying to deal with.
The paper is carrying it because
high cost of living.
Easy.
Like, seriously.
That's to tell you of how, but then if I am in the Senate, I won't reduce myself to this level. I'm telling you the truth. That is me. I'm not talking about them. It's individual differences. So, well, that's in the Punch newspaper and many other headlines there. We have this one which says 2027 election, INEC unveils mock presidential poll plan. Details you can find on page 7. Tinubu approves Lagos-Ibadan Expressway reconstruction overdue because accident on that road is something else. So, and the kind of activities that go on there, right? Let's quickly bring you some other headlines because of our time. States defy Supreme Court, control 10 trillion naira local government allocations. Then some riders to that story. This one says that 2 years after Supreme Court judgment, states still control local government funds, which is wrong. This is coming from Nolde and Algon leaders. All right, if Nolde and Algon leaders are complaining, then it is wrong. And if you're a governor and you are sure that this money is going down, let Nigerians know, exonerate yourself. Okay. Local government accounts, autonomy stalls as joint account system survives in most states. This one says local government FAC allocation jumps 33% 2 years after Supreme Court verdict. Kogi rescue assaulted principal, NECO officials, 2 students. Nurse's death. Umahi, police fight bid to stop autopsy. Umahi and the police are fighting bid to stop autopsy. All right, okay. Those are the headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning. Before we go for social buzz, let's quickly look at one more paper.
All right.
I will be done.
Let's look at Liberty, the voice of Liberty. And below the nameplate, it says here, Tinubu unveils $3.05 billion anti-poverty human capital program. And next, it says PDP crisis, group urges courts to uphold rule of law ahead of BOT INEC judgment. And still below the nameplate, it says poverty still threatens 79% of Nigerians despite reforms, and that's from the World Bank. And it says here, NBMOA seeks Tinubu's intervention over alleged northern media from NRS tax campaign, cites marginalization by MDAs. And here it said Senate queries NNPCL auditors over unexplained 210 trillion naira. And it says state police need first line funding to block governor's control. That's from the Senate leader. And here it says alleged kickback defamation. Bajabamila sues PFIPC DG for 15 billion naira. And it says here religious violence. U.S. Reps backs amendments to withhold all aid to Nigeria. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the newspaper review segment. Of course, that's from the Voice of Liberty. Please go out and get yourself a copy to avoid fake news. And we have to delve towards social buzz with Ogochukwu Mobuno. But before we go, we want you to know that Global Television or the Global Morning Crew have no editorial judgment whatsoever on these newspapers. They were brought to you just as how they were imputed and, of course, printed. Up next is Social Buzz. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Hello, it's great to have you with us on the weather forecast. Let's begin with the rainfall distribution across the country over the past 24 hours. With the rainfall concentration more in the northeast, some parts of the north central and northwest, and much of the southern region of the country, with rainfall amounts reaching as high as 99.9 millimeter recorded in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, highlighting just how active the atmosphere has been. Now, heading into Friday, wet weather continues as morning rains are expected in parts of Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, the south, and southeastern states, with rainfall amounts of 50 millimeters or more expected in the southeast inland and coastal belts, coupled with the already saturated soil. This could trigger flash floods in the region. Residents in these areas are advised to remain alert and take necessary precaution. Morning thunderstorms are still likely in parts of Kwara, Niger, the Federal Capital Territory, Kogi, Benue, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. By afternoon and evening hours, these thunderstorms will intensify more in the northwest, some parts of the northeast and north central, with moderate rains to the southern parts of the country. That's the forecast. Whatever plans you're making for Friday, keep an eye on the weather. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
Witchtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction, Witchtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Witchtech Cables, quality cables better than the best.
At Aerogym Shoe Factory, excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back-to-school footwear. All crafted with state-of-the-art equipment and built for strength, comfort, and durability. For reliable footwear that stands the test of time, choose Aerogym Shoes for better product, strong steps, smart style. For inquiries, call 091-264-53399 or 070-3009-3944 or 080-6573-8374 or call 081-3167-3668. Email info@aerogym.com. Website www.aerogymdesign.com. Aerogym. Walk with confidence. Walk with pride.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on the issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Boss Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Good morning, Nigerians and viewers around the world. It's time to look at buzzing issues on social media. Today we're looking at a story that has been lingering for about 4 to 5 days now. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, has responded to reports surrounding the death of Mary Habila, a nurse who died at his residence in Ebonyi State. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, Umahi described the deceased as like a daughter, revealing that she had worked with him for 3 years and that he had supported her medical treatment in the past. According to the minister, Habila spoke with her boyfriend shortly before her death, complaining of a nosebleed and saying she was about to take a bath. He said when she later became unreachable, the door was forced open the next morning, where she was found dead with the bathroom tap still running. Umahi said he made the clarification to address what he described as misinformation surrounding the incident. Let's take a look at that press briefing from Umahi.
Information I want to correct is that the lady in question was like a daughter to me. She had stayed with me for 3 years. She was a staff of the Federal Medical University. She was a nurse and not a physiotherapist. And the family and my family are like one family. And she has her medical records in Turkish hospital, being paid by us. She spoke to her boyfriend at the hour of her death and complaining that she was bleeding from the nose. And the boyfriend said, no, you have to report. You see, it has stopped. So the boyfriend said, listen, I will not continue this conversation since you are bleeding. It will increase the bleeding. And she told the boyfriend, don't cut the call. The boyfriend cut the call. And 3 minutes later, the boyfriend called again. She was not responding. And even in the morning, she told the boyfriend she was going to bath because she locked her door, you know. So even in the morning, when they broke the door and discovered her dead, the tap was still running, you know. So, but what baffles me, you know, in this country is that everything becomes an opportunity. Now, there is a guest house where her and the second medical person stay. And that is very far from where I stay. And so it means that, God forbid, somebody dies in Ministry of Works, the minister must be accountable to that. Is that what they are saying? Is that they are saying that somebody cannot die? Is that, have they checked the medical records of the lady? Do they know, you know, that this lady was like a daughter to me? And that, you know, everything goes into politics. But what I say to people, be careful. Life is spiritual. When you want to use the unfortunate death of a young girl to play politics, if we have hands in the killings, it will follow us in our family. But if we don't have hands and you are jumping into it, behold, this is David. I'm a man of full grace. You don't, you know, tackle me anyhow and you go out of it. So be careful when you want to use the death of that young lady. You know, one of my best workers, a nurse, a staff of the federal. Somebody said, oh, they were transported, you know. The second girl is from Benue State, you know, and that girl has worked with me as a governor before she was employed. And so when people darken the so while I'm not talking to the president, that means nothing, but very painful to me that that girl passed on, you know. It's very difficult to replace her, you know. And, you know, the parents will be begging them, allow for autopsy to happen. They say it's against their culture. But the question is that if she were a Muslim, will you be insisting that autopsy will happen? You know. But we insisted to our lawyer that autopsy should happen. And we are begging the parents to allow autopsy to happen. And I say, no, it's against their culture. And so we have a statement, you know, and only God will resolve it, because I have directed that the
All right, so that is the Minister of Works, David Umahi. We've listened to his press briefing, you know, concerning the death of this young nurse that, you know, was found dead in his house. Well, let's take a look at some comments from social media before we start talking about this. And the first comment is coming from In My Banks, and In My Bank says, you could narrate everything, that how she made phone calls with her boyfriend, what they spoke on the call, and minutes spent on the call. But same you said she locked her door that nobody could have access to the room. So how did you know about all the conversations that she had with the so-called boyfriend? I just feel like they want to drag this boy into this conversation, because I really did not know why he had to mention that. That's like a bit of her privacy. Well, the second comment is coming from Fashion Statements. And Fashion Statement said, all these explanations are very unnecessary. At this material time, a simple autopsy will solve this entire saga, and everything can be unraveled for all to see. Well, speaking about autopsy, I don't know, they said that the family of the lady came out to say she's from a particular community in Kaduna State, so they cannot carry out an autopsy. We are not sure about that yet, because we've not seen an official statement or a video that could say, okay, this person, this is what they said. Well, I'm not alone this morning. I have with me Chumai Manson. Good morning, Chumai.
Good morning, Ogo. I don't know why you want to bring me in this.
I have to bring you into this topic because, see, this topic has been running for like since on Monday, and I've been holding myself. I told myself, I'm not going to talk about it. Let me just be calm. I want to see where this whole thing is going to. I want to know what exactly it's all about. But then again, when I saw this press briefing this morning, I'm like, okay, there are some statements that is not adding up. Especially when the minister said, if somebody dies in the Ministry of Works, is it that the minister is to be held accountable? I'm like, why are you bringing, the ministry is very big, why are you bringing the ministry? This is your house. This person was found dead in your house. And I think in the same country, which I believe Nigeria is, they're supposed to, like, the police is supposed to at least invite the minister right now over for questioning, because this happened under your roof. We've seen so many guys, you know, be detained in police station, in the prison, even held for something that they know nothing about. Why? Because maybe they found their girlfriend dead or their sister. Yes, I've seen somebody, the sister lives with him and she died. And he said this person died out of so and so because she was sick. But then again, he was arrested, brutally beaten, and said he used the sister for ritual. So sometimes I'm beginning to weigh this whole thing and I'm asking myself, is that the poor man now, is the only person that is...
But I just feel we have there are a lot of speculations. A lot of people. But I just feel we have there are a lot of speculations. A lot of people have a lot of things to say. The reason why the families are coming out to say they do not suspect any foul play is because maybe money has been given. Maybe they're trying to hide something. Maybe people said a lot of things. Maybe she was having a lot of things, and it's just unfortunate that they want to drag her boyfriend in this one, even if there is an imaginary boyfriend or so to say. But at the same time, I think the need should be done. One, nobody is above the law. Everyone should try to understand that no one is above the law. Whether you're high up there, you're a minister, you should be called in for questioning. It's very because this is human life we're dealing with, not just any human life. Someone that has a family, she's a Nigerian, and that counts for something. So it's very important that the needful should be done. It doesn't matter your status, the needful should be done because there are lots of speculations. And if this was a poor man, if this happened to a regular ordinary man, they would have beaten him. They won't even ask any questions.
And even he used her for ritual.
Of course, or maybe speculations that maybe he was trying to hide a pregnancy or all of these things, dragging, and they would have beaten the person to a pulp first before you start explaining yourself, because that's how they run it here in Nigeria. Once you're a poor man, they have to run it quickly. But because he's a man of repute and all of that, so maybe that's why there's so much drawback, and I do not understand why. I think the need should be done. Let's hear from her family members. If really they are consenting to the fact that they do not want an autopsy, come out and say it. Come out freely, because you know that this is someone that is no more. She's unalive. So your conscience should at least prick you in one way or the other if you are lying because of what you have gotten. But let's hear from the family members. And for me, because she's a Nigerian, and we all want to know if there was an affair, if there was something they were trying. Let's know it. After all, he's not the first, neither will he be the last, and all of that. But let's just know what this is all about, because a lot of speculation surrounding this girl's death, and it's cause for worry and concern.
All right. So I think one of the reasons why we're actually dragging this issue is because this person is a public figure. David Umahi is not just any minister.
No, he's
minister
not.
of works, and also one time governor of Ebonyi State.
Yes.
So it's not just anyone. So, but then again, I also want to look at it from the realistic point of view, which is people can die anytime, anywhere.
Oh, yes.
You understand?
That's true.
So, irrespective of anything, it could be that she was sick, like he mentioned earlier, that he had already sponsored her one time.
Yes.
I think she went to Turkey for, treatment one time, and he sponsored that because he said that he had known this girl for over 3 years, and she's like family, like a daughter to him.
Exactly.
So, anything could happen. But what I'm saying is the police shouldn't fail to do their job, irrespective of this girl could have died, natural death. But please do your job. Do not be scared to interrogate whether a rich person or a public figure or whoever, celebrity, whoever, not regarding, the statue, the whatever, just please do your job. That is all Nigerians are asking. Do your job, and let's keep all of these press statements and press briefing and all of that aside.
Yes.
The government don't have the right to go call, all of these news stations to come out. Let's speak medically of my mind. No. So please, let's just do our jobs. That's just, we really want to know. We want to get to the bottom of all of this. We don't want it to die. We don't want it to be one other Tracy Ohiri's case.
Exactly.
We know about Tracy Ohiri with the Minister of Work, so we don't want that.
No, we
so
don't
we
want another
this
one.
one to the end, and I'm going to be looking out for it because I'll be giving you these stories on that.
And you know what, Ogo, for as much as we, like you said, death can happen, natural death can happen, let your story align. Let your actions align.
Very true.
Then once everything aligns, we won't see, like when you give a press statement, now people have seen loopholes in it, because you said no one to gain access to the room, it was locked, they had to force it open, and then you said you heard the conversation. You see, things are not just, they don't align. So let it align and let your actions align, and then we'll know that, okay, fine. But once there is one crack somewhere, people will definitely
give misconceptions, allegations, and all of that. But let everything, actions, and we'll let it align so that we'll know that, okay, it's a natural cause, natural death. Okay, it is well.
All right, so I have a lot of questions, but I'm not going to be taking that, please. I'll keep it for some other show.
Okay,
for the sake of our time. Thank you so much, Jumai, for your contribution to today's topic. And yes, this is where we close the curtains for Social Buzz on Global Morning. I am Okoch Kumob, now leaving the hands of Jumai and Ramsey as the ushers into the discussion section of Global Morning. So stay with us, do not go anywhere. Good morning once again, Nigerians and viewers around the world. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On global television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Hello, it's great to have you with us on the weather forecast. Let's begin with the rainfall distribution across the country over the past 24 hours. With the rainfall concentration more in the northeast, some parts of the north central and northwest, and much of the southern region of the country, with rainfall amounts reaching as high as 99.9 millimeter recorded in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, highlighting just how active the atmosphere has been. Now, heading into Friday, wet weather continues as morning rains are expected in parts of Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, the south, and southeastern states, with rainfall amounts of 50 millimeters or more expected in the southeast inland and coastal belts, coupled with the already saturated soil. This could trigger flash floods in the region. Residents in these areas are advised to remain alert and take necessary precaution. Morning thunderstorms are still likely in parts of Kwara, Niger, the Federal Capital Territory, Kogi, Benue, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. By afternoon and evening hours, these thunderstorms will intensify more in the northwest, some parts of the northeast and north central, with moderate rains to the southern parts of the country. That's the forecast. Whatever plans you're making for Friday, keep an eye on the weather. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
Well, that was Social Buzz for you on Global Morning today. Well, there's so many things happening in Nigeria. Some we can say it's natural, some we can say it's orchestrated, and some we can say, well, nobody know what has happened. This is only known by the divinity. But then I think we have a system that if they really want to check out the reason for certain things, they would be able to do it. We've seen that in the past. This is a simple case. I just do an autopsy and it will reveal what is responsible for the death of the young lady. I know some persons have, because of one or two reasons, done certain things, even though they wouldn't have done it ordinarily. But despite that, some Nigerians can read meaning to things, and of course, in every rumor, there might be an atom of truth. We can't categorically say there is an atom of truth. There might be until otherwise proven. And thank God that we have a system that can actually go and do verifications, carry out research investigations to know the cause of certain things. So we don't have a repeat. Sometimes things like this happen, and of course, somebody might just fall victim. We've seen cases where, like I think a few days ago, someone slept, all right, and didn't wake up. But results show that he was having hypotension, and nobody knew what happened over the night, and he didn't wake up. Some person, there could be an ailment, or a challenge somewhere that someone is not speaking out about, which could also result to certain things. All the same, I think the authorities know what to do if they want to do it. So, after the autopsy, Nigerians may finally know the cause of Habila's death, even though some persons are saying, I think social media, when things like this happen, you see so many things on social media, and of course in the media space. Some are saying the parents said there is no need for autopsy. For this morning, Umahi said the lady is like a daughter to him, that he's mourning. And some persons are saying there are moves by the police and of course Umahi himself to stop the bid for autopsy, and so many other things. It's in the paper, you can check it out. All right, everyone. So many things happening in the polity that we need to talk about. Yesterday, we're here and we're talking about opposition. And some people said opposition is real. Some people said opposition doesn't have a clean-cut playing ground. There are interventions or interferences, either by the court. We heard the IPAC chairman yesterday talking about how some judgments came from the court which was not supposed to, and they rose to the occasion, standing for that political party. And he was able to tell us what IPAC does, Inter-Party Advisory Council, what they do. And of course, we are moving towards 2027. Whether you like it or not, we have oppositions. Every other party, when we talk about opposition, some people will tell you, well, PDP, ADC, NDC, Labour Party, because those are the parties to know. But we still have other parties. Like yesterday, we heard about the rescue mission, all right, the National Rescue Movement, NRM, yes, the political party. Some persons were even asking me, have you heard of this political party before? And I said, yes, I've quoted someone from there before. And some people were actually of the opinion that any party that's not well known, that doesn't have a strong candidates, all right, like we have Peter Obi moving from one party to the other, giving the parties relevance because of the kind of president he is. These other parties, we have about over how many parties in Nigeria that are registered. So all these other parties who are not in power are oppositions, all right, And some person said some parties are not talking, but they are strategizing. Whatever happens, you hear Atiku Obi saying so many things to check the administration. And a lot of people see them as the opposition. You know, sometimes they say certain things and people feel, well, this is coming from the place of opposition, you know. So all these things contribute to why Nigerians are of the opinion, all right, that some of these things that are being said by people in other political parties might not be, all right, what it is, what they meant in the real sense. But then I've discovered that Peter Obi and Atiku, most of the things they react to, like this issue of Mahi, they've reacted to it. The issue of fake agency, they've reacted to it. Yes, talking about investigation, external investigation. They talk about the security situation almost all the time. But there are political parties in this country that we've never heard them speak. Civil society organizations are even doing the opposition more than they are. You know, so what do you think about opposition generally in Nigeria, the impact of opposition? For now, can you point to one or two impacts of oppositions in Nigeria?
You see, that's the thing. You know, you mentioned a lot. You've said a lot about Peter Obi and, of course, Atiku. These individuals are in various parties and they are the opposition party when it comes to the ruling party now in Nigeria. And when you hear opposition parties and you just hear two figures from different parties coming out, making reference, you know, dragging this administration, calling them out in some pressing issues of Nigeria. If you say you're an opposition and you are the best, I'll use the man for the job to become the president in the upcoming 2027 election, I should see you. Be all out there. You have to be popular. I need to know you. It's not when, this is the time, this is the right time to start your strategy. Let me know you. Be heard. Because nobody will want to vote for someone that they hardly know, just within your circle. Within your circle cannot make you get enough votes for you to win the election. You have to be all out there. I have not seen, like you said, the only individuals I have seen is, that I've heard, Atiku, Peter Obi. They are the ones that are driving the front when it comes to oppositions that people are known with and, of course, associating with. But other political parties, you'd be surprised. I was one that asked that question yesterday, that this NRM, the party that came out yesterday, I was like, I've not heard of
National Rescue Movement.
Exactly. I've not heard. And, you know, when you say you have to put yourself all out there, there's a lot you have. It's not strategy behind the corner.
But have you heard about AAC?
That's the thing, no.
African Action Congress.
Okay, okay.
But you've heard about Showore?
Of course.
That's what I was saying.
Of course.
You know, a lot of people...
You know the individual, but you do not know the party in which they are moving the front for. So you have to come...
But you know NDC.
Of course. So, so you have to...
Why would you know NDC? Is there.
Exactly.
You know NDC because Atiku is there.
Exactly. So they have a lot of work to... Especially these new parties that are coming out. And the thing is, it's just what it is. And that's the truth. Except if you're a prominent individual and you go to that party, that's when you'll be known. But if you're not prominent, you're the normal civil servant, maybe an MD somewhere, DG somewhere, or just you will not really be known.
But you know,
you have to put in a lot of work.
African Democratic Congress. You know the presidential candidates.
Go ahead.
As it is, the kind of people we have in ADC, sometimes when certain things happen, you feel, well, why did this happen? Because these are people that have been in politics, you know, before a lot of people got married. Let me just use that one. I don't want to use the word
okay.
You know, talking about the David Mark-led faction of the African Democratic Congress, because as we speak right now, moving into 2027, the African Democratic Congress is divided. We have two factions. Some person said, well, the right thing was not done. And someone made reference to what happened to PDP as it has to do with the Makinde-led Congress that happened in Oyo State. What was the stand of the court in that case? You know, that taking clue from what happened in that Makinde case, the ADC, all right, was supposed to be cautious playing their game. But some persons are saying what really happened. I had a barrister on my program here, Issues, who said, well, probably this other faction was taken for granted, because where you have what's his name in this Igbo man, then in this other faction you have big names, you have the David Marks of this world, you have the Ambechis of this world, you have the not too tired to run Atiku, you have of course the Amechis and all of that. Then the person said what really happened could be that they looked down on the other faction. But the case is in court. It's not all about, when a case gets to court, it's no longer about the people, but about the findings, all right, and of course the evidences before the court, irrespective of who you are. Even though some persons are of the opinion that the court sometimes can, of course, some things exchange hands. It's been alleged, right, that some things exchange hands and the judgment is being given in some people's favor and all of that. It has been alleged. I believe in the judicial system as a person.
It's the hope
right?
of the
But I
common
can't
man.
speak for everyone.
It's the hope of
Everybody
the
cannot
common
be me. So people have their opinion, all right? And some persons even speak out of experience. So sometimes you can't fault them. And the barrister on my program was saying ADC wouldn't have fell cheaply, all right, for that trap. As it is, even though it was in the papers that I've recognized upload, all right, but what about the court judgment to come up next? We still have a lot of litigations. Like someone will say, this is one administration that we have a lot of court litigations. We have a lot of litigations from the court.
Yes,
you know, today this judgment, tomorrow this judgment. Is either it's INEC getting instruction from the court, it's either it's political party, it's either it's inter or intra or maybe litigation. So this problem is everywhere. But that of ADC, as we speak now, there is leadership crisis in ADC.
Yes, there is.
There is leadership crisis in ADC. So what time do these people have to even prepare for 2027 election?
So these are the distractions in which we're talking about. These are the distractions that are not making them to strategize well for us to know. But it's just unfortunate that this is what it is. I think before you come out to say that my party is the best, please come vote me. I have what it takes to move Nigeria and Nigerians forward. Internally, you should look at all of those loopholes. It should be settled first before you come out, because everyone with the right thinking will actually revert to that and say, come on, you want to come out and vote and yet you're having this internal crisis. Settle. It's just like a man now that wants to come out and give a speech and he's having issues in his home front. It's a very serious issue. And at the same time, this could be very distracting. At the same time.
It could be very distracting. And of course, one of the major problems that we even have in Nigeria, apart from this politics, is the issue of unity. You see how politicians, you know, they are very smart people. And of course, so many times you see them coming up with strategies to make sure the people are not united. Because someone has said before that if politicians are united, all right, we'll have better governance. Some people have said if the people, Nigerians, are united, we will have better governance. But one of the things that has become very difficult in Nigeria is unity in diversity. You see politicians, some people will tell you politicians don't like themselves. You know, some people will tell you politicians don't have permanent enemy. You see somebody in one party today defect to the other party. You see an opposition today, tomorrow you see the same people working together. But what these politicians do sometimes is to ensure that they instill in you this mentality of you are from my region, would you vote for somebody from another region? Then you begin to put one or two together. All right, I am from the north, I am from the north central, I am from the south, I am from the west, and all of that, I'm from the east. All of these are strategies to make sure Nigerians are not united. But I keep thinking, when would that time come when all Nigerians will be united for national development? You know, unity, one of the things that unity breeds is national development. But if we are not united, we can't work together. All right, unity go a long way. There is no time I talk about unity and I don't talk about the Tower of Babel, like we're being told. All right, I don't want to talk about that. But that tower couldn't continue when they were splitted, people speaking different languages. If we will know as Nigerians that language doesn't matter, tribes doesn't matter, but all we are gunning for is good governance. Give us the dividends of democracy. You know what happened during the End SARS protest? You know, a lot of people coming together to say, well, this we don't want anymore. We are tired. And because of that singular unity, we know a lot of things happen. But then Nigerians cannot forget that protest in a hurry. We're not saying protest is good. We are not saying Nigerians should not ask for what is theirs. But then what we are saying is by the time we are united, we'll go a long way. Let me get to you. Let me ask you a question now. Mm-hmm. Do you think, all right, what do you think about the way Nigeria is right now, the system, unity and national development? Democracy is in place as it is right now.
Yes, it is.
But Nigerians are not getting the dividends of democracy. Do you think unity in diversity? All right, I'm an Igbo, but I want good governance. I'm a Yoruba man, but I want good governance. I'm an Hausa man, but I want good governance. I am a Bibo, I am Igbira, I am Idoma, I am Igala, I am, but we want governance. Can we join our hands together? And of course, fight this singular cause. Is it achievable in Nigeria?
Yes, it is. It doesn't matter.
So how is it going to happen?
It doesn't matter the tribe. It doesn't matter the language in which you speak. It doesn't matter what your culture is. The most important thing is we are Nigerians. That's the first, and that is the.
But look at the system before you respond.
I know.
With what is happening.
I know we can all make a difference, but it starts from the top. The top has to do the needful. There's so many, when we were reading the newspaper, you saw what's happening. You have to return this. When it 4-point-something million, you see what is happening with the fake agency. You see all of these things, all for their own personal gains. But if these individuals who are at the top understand that, sometimes we understand that greed can take over. But try and be empathetic. Try and do the needful, the right thing, the godly thing to do. When it starts from there, you lay that example. People follow. What? A leader. Who is a leader? Someone who leads and people follow. A leader is someone who is upright, who has integrity, who has moral justification, who knows what he is doing, and he's fair. That's a leader. And when a leader starts with that figurehead, it's like he starts with that. People look up to that leader, and then people follow. When he leads, people follow. When it starts from the top, it gradually goes down to individuals. So it doesn't matter your tribe. When you see that leader who projects and does the right thing, you want to follow. And you know that we are all one. It doesn't matter whether that leader there is a Kogi man from Igbira. It doesn't matter whether he's Benue, or you say to yourself, after all, he's Benue, that's the only time I'll do the right thing. No, he's a Nigerian, he's a figurehead. He's an example for each and every one of us to follow. And that is when it transcends to us. So it's achievable. And the thing is, Ramsey, Nigeria and I, we don't ask for too much. We don't ask for too much. Just give us the basics. I keep saying it every time. Just give us the basics. Let a woman who has stayed out for soul that knows that this particular child or children of hers are the ones that will yield fruits or bring that joy for her after struggling to train them, and at the end of the day, they come out, they graduate, and they are employed. One. That woman who owns a fashion house knows that when there is constant light, she has customers, she will not disappoint her customers too. I can go from point A to point B without worrying about the cost of transportation. I have light, there is power, there is this. We don't ask for too much, Ramsey. And all of this national development
it is achievable, really.
We don't ask for too much.
No, we don't.
All these are part of national development, giving back to the people you've promised you are going to give something to deliver the dividends of democracy to. But then, will the ADC be able to do that in 2027, looking at the court judgment and the leadership tussle? Let's go on a quick break. After this break, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Hello, it's great to have you with us on the weather forecast. Let's begin with the rainfall distribution across the country over the past 24 hours. With the rainfall concentration more in the northeast, some parts of the north central and northwest, and much of the southern region of the country, with rainfall amounts reaching as high as 99.9 millimeter recorded in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, highlighting just how active the atmosphere has been. Now, heading into Friday, wet weather continues as morning rains are expected in parts of Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, the south, and southeastern states, with rainfall amounts of 50 millimeters or more expected in the southeast inland and coastal belts, coupled with the already saturated soil. This could trigger flash floods in the region. Residents in these areas are advised to remain alert and take necessary precaution. Morning thunderstorms are still likely in parts of Kwara, Niger, the Federal Capital Territory, Kogi, Benue, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. By afternoon and evening hours, these thunderstorms will intensify more in the northwest, some parts of the northeast and north central, with moderate rains to the southern parts of the country. That's the forecast. Whatever plans you're making for Friday, keep an eye on the weather. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On global television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
everything, all attention is towards the 2027 election. Some persons have said, well, we're having more of politicking than having governance. But then, as political parties get ready for the 2027 election, some are being faced with a lot of crises. Before now, we had a lot of factions in different political parties, from PDP to Labour Party, almost all the major opposition parties. But now, we want to look at the African Democratic Congress. Have you thought about the litigations coming from court, the court judgment? Some people call it a big hammer that landed on ADC at the 11th hour. We're just talking about that. We're not finished talking about how ADC is going to feel after the court judgment. Then, boom, the leadership crisis starts creeping in. Some person said, well, this has been on for a very long time. It's just manifesting. But what do you think about this? What impact is going to make? All right, is it going to make on the ADC going into the 2027 election? We have a political analyst who is going to be joining us in this conversation in the person of Fasasi Sadiq. It's good to have you join us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sadiq Fasasi, for being a part of the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's begin from the court judgment. Some persons were saying it was a trap for ADC, looking at what happened. Remember the Congress that held in Oyo State. Yeah. Remember the judgment that came from that Congress and how it was not allowed to stand. And as we speak, the Wike faction have been given access to the portal. Because of that court judgment, they've uploaded their candidates. That's for the PDP. Now, some persons said, looking at the crop of politicians that we have in the ADC, the David Marks, the Amechi, the Atiku, never tired to run presidential candidates, and of course, Aregbesola and the host of others. That thing wouldn't have happened. They would have been able to curtail this, looking at their experience. Are you on the same page with this school of thought?
For me, I think one of the things we need to understand is political parties, they are bound by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Most of the time, when we look at issues that happen around politicking, most especially in our politicking period, PDP as a party, the first thing they need to understand is that before you come out to say you want to actually present either a presidential candidate or you present anybody to run under your political platform, for me, I think they need to first put their house together. The party itself is not in order. The party is disorganized. There is a political tussle. There is a leadership tussle. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of issue in PDP, if I am talking from the PDP angle. So the first thing they need to do before INEC take them serious, before a lot of issues, is they need to resolve their internal issue before you talk about coming out full blown to come and go for like convention, like the convention that happens in Lagos. In Oyo State.
The attention, I just use that as an instance that Nigerians were saying with that judgment that came from there, ADC was not supposed to fall for this one, taking cue from there. Okay. So the attention is on ADC. Okay. That's why I asked if. Don't you think, because some Nigerians are saying, with the big politicians in ADC, that judgment that came from court, the people that even went to court, was a trap and they fell for it, looking at the judgment that came from court, meaning they didn't think of what happened to PDP. Is that true?
Yes. I don't think they didn't think about what happened in ADC, in PDP. I think a lot of people think they are bigger than the Constitution. I will be talking from that angle because I think because of those men that you think they are in ADC, the former Senate President David Mark and other big wigs in ADC, most of them think they can actually overturn the reality of PDP. You see, the problem we are having in this country is that we play politics with everything, even most of the time when we are supposed to follow the order They lay down rules. I used to be a secretary of a political party before I left the political party. I used to be a secretary of a political party, and in that party is called National Rescue Movement, and there are some parties that were deregistered. They were deregistered on the grounds that they did not meet up with some statutory requirements according to the constitution, that as a party you need to win some offices, you need to have some kind of structures in place, either in the National Assembly, either in the State Assembly, or either in the local government level, which some of these parties did not have that requirement. On the ground of that, they were deregistered.
Including
NRM was not deregistered as at then, because NRM still have some people in the House of Assembly. We have a chairman from Akwa Ibom State and some other parts of the country. So what is going on in this country is that, most especially in our political party, ADC as an example, that the reality of PDP, they still fell into the trap of it, because some people think they are bigger than the constitution. They think they can overturn everything because of their personality. Nigerians can look away, or the justice can just be of their favor because of the constitution. Because of their personality. They see their personality as bigger than the constitution. The first thing they need, a party must first put in place, is your internal structure. If your internal structure is not in place, see, most of the time, we are the criticizers, the analysts, we are the backbench, the spectators, the commentators. We have a way of thinking that, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. But when the reality, the constitutional reality, some of the requirement that is there for this party to actually obey, if they did not meet up with those requirements, no matter the kind of people that are behind the party, you cannot scale through. So when you look at most of the deregistration issue that has been going on, either they said they cannot actually uphold their convention, or some other issues that they still the PDP went ahead to do their convention, the EDC, the truth is, the constitution have a provision that if they did not meet up with those provisions, then they cannot scale through. So those provisions are there, and they know. The politicians know. The first thing is the structure, the internal structure. Now, I am in NGO. I am not doing politics again. Now, we are now there thinking that, okay, maybe we should put things together. We should make sure that, let's get the political space. Let's sanitize the space. But yet, we cannot sanitize the space by looking away from some things that are there that we need to, you are in your office. There are some structures that are here before you come. You can't come. The only thing you need to do, you need to actually maybe amend the existing structure, put something in place, have some sense of organizing. So party need to understand that there are constitutional provision that is being put in place to actually make sure that they are in line with the constitution. So if you move out of the constitution thinking you can do the I know go green level or anything goes level, the agidi level, that whatever that happens, it will not stand. And that was one of the things. And most of the time, if you look at the Wike is the kind of person that he knows the constitution. He is a lawyer, so he creates an environment that is not enabling for you, and you have something to owe you. You can see that most of them have to be leaving the party. The article left the party, and some of other persons that left the party, because he made sure that the ground is not enabling for them to use the party to run for any positions. So they went to other party without also putting their house in place. Before you come outside that you want to come and be a platform where Nigerians should run under, your house should be in order first. A political party cannot be fighting and everything is disorganized, they are not in order, and you want to come and use that party as a platform. For me to come and run, how can I trust that?
We have a disorganized country.
Yes, we have a disorganized country, and we need an organized party first, because party is the first house, they are the first platform that produce a politician. True. Nigerian president today is a product of a political party. So whether you talk about your House of Rep member, he or she is a product of a political party. Mm-hmm. So a political party that is unstructured, that is not in order, cannot manage a very diverse and complicated and complex country like Nigeria. So the first thing is that party must be in place first before you come. So that internal problem must be fixed before you come out and say, okay, this is the platform I want to entrust to Nigeria to run under. That's the first thing.
But looking at the internal problem in the ADC, do you think it's going to affect the 2027 presidential election? Because we have two factions here.
Of course it will. It's obvious because okay, if we have two factions in ADC, yes, that means we are going to have two presidential candidates coming from the ADC. Now, when we have to, in fact, there have been a lot of rumor. Their former presidential candidate, the Kachiko, what's his name? The former presidential candidate in 2023, that he said maybe he was alleged to have misappropriated some funds in the party. Also came out to say he is running as a president under the platform. A lot of people, Atiku is running under the platform. Some other persons are running under the platform. Of course, there's going to be a dire consequence when a party is factional, when a party is not organized, when the party when the house is set against each other. So you cannot come and say, okay, this is the kind of party that you want to use to run. Okay, if you have two presidential candidates, in fact, let me tell you one thing. Most of these parties are making it a soft landing for APC to scale through in 2027.
How is that so?
Yes, because, and a lot of people are still saying that APC is sponsoring some of these things. There have been a lot of speculations that APC made sure that they sponsor some persons internally to make sure that the party continue to be in a state of disarray. You understand? But when you look at it very well, when this political party did not structure themselves, APC will continue to remain a viable party that, whether you like it or not, people will say, oh, this is a party. And that is why you will see, go and write it down. In 2027, as we approach 2027, you are going to see a lot of massive decamping. When people know that their ambition, because first, a politician is driven by personal ambition first before national ambition. Before you talk about you want to change the country, you are going to your constituency to right some wrongs. A politician ideal first is how to achieve that position of House of Rep member, how to achieve that position of a Senate. So that personal ambition will override the ambition that you have either for your people or whatever. So in 2027, this political party, they are making it easy for APC, that is the ruling party, to scale through. So if they want the politicking process to be balanced, the first thing they need to do, the party should go and put their house in order. They should settle their scores. They should put other things aside and say, okay, let's do this for the country, not just for ourselves. But as far as now, let me digress a bit. If you look at and I know that a lot of people don't like this kind of conversation. If you look at the NDC presidential candidate, that is Peter Obi, right? If you look at him, okay, you move from Labour Party, you move to ADC. Now from ADC, you decamp to NDC. Now along the line, I know that the NDC too might start having some kind of issues, which I know that there are a lot of unsettled scores on ground with some of our judicial standards. Some of the statutory standard has been put in place to regulate party. They will not tell them now, when the election is approaching, when 2027 presidential election is approaching, you are going to be seeing a lot of things that will make them unsettled. And that is one of the things that is interesting about politics. You cannot be contesting against me and you want me to make it smooth for you. I must create a ground that will never be smooth for you. I must create a system, an environment. Everything must not be okay for you. So politicians, most of the time, they tend to blackmail people. They want to make it look like, okay, is this party that is making our party to scatter? No, another party cannot come to your party to make your party to be unsettled. The first thing is the internal crisis amongst all these parties. Whether you talk about the ADC or you talk about the PDP, they must make sure that if they are actually ready to run, or they want to use the platform, they want Nigeria to trust that platform, they must settle that internal crisis first. And that was why I made the instances of the NRM, You understand? A lot of things is going on in these parties, and they will not come out to tell you.
Exactly. But looking at it, Sadiq, but is internal crisis inevitable? When you look at it, because we have PDP has this, APC, NDC, is it inevitable?
The thing is, even in your house, you must have issues. Everybody have issues. In this office, you might have some kind of crisis. It's inevitable, but yet the thing is, you must manage it so that it will not be in the flu glare. Everybody will not be aware that you are having it. And one thing about party, when it comes to politics, you are going to have a mole in your house. They will let the whole world know that you are facing this crisis. Okay, if the Arise News, Mr. Charles Aniagolu did not interview the former governor of Kaduna State, that in that interview he said
Nasir El-Rufai
that he said the NSA phone was wiretapped, that made him to be in the DSS net up till now. It wouldn't have happened. Most of the time when politicians came to media house like this, they tend to expose their problem. You understand? And when they tend to, and most of the time, politicians, they set up, they have, when it comes to politics thrives with gossip. Politics, if you want to play politics and you cannot gossip, politics thrives with gossip. Politicians are watching all this kind of program. You think they are not watching? They are watching it. And when they see that you come outside and you say something, that is what they are now going to be digging deeper. So they will be sponsoring something even inside your party to make sure that your party remain unsustainable. They create an environment for you not to be able to actually achieve what you want to achieve.
And so those people are in the same party.
And the people, most of the time, are the people that are in your party. They first of all create an enabling environment, an environment that is not enabling, like they make sure that the ground is not level for you.
Palatable.
That is like they just make sure that you are not okay. So most of the time, the crisis is inevitable. But the question is that make sure you manage the crisis within the party so that the people will not know that this is the problem that is going on in the party, as much as the people are aware that your party is having crisis. The other political party are aware. So that is the message they are going to be amplifying to the public, telling the public that this kind of party, a party that cannot even put some of their house in order, you cannot expect such party to actually manage the kind of country like Nigeria.
Well, I wish we could continue with the conversation, but then our time is up. We need to go into the second conversation, but we hope to have you again. Because I wanted asking if these people who cause intra-party crisis, what their interests are, or we want to subscribe to the fact that the other opposition planted them there. But that will be a question for another day. All right. Because of our time. Thank you so much for being part of Global Morning today, Sadiq.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. This is the size of the conversation for you today. And of course, as it is, we will get into the second conversation for you now. Stay with us. We'll return after this break.
Hello, it's great to have you with us on the weather forecast. Let's begin with the rainfall distribution across the country over the past 24 hours. With the rainfall concentration more in the northeast, some parts of the north central and northwest, and much of the southern region of the country, with rainfall amounts reaching as high as 99.9 millimeter recorded in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, highlighting just how active the atmosphere has been. Now, heading into Friday, wet weather continues as morning rains are expected in parts of Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, the south, and southeastern states, with rainfall amounts of 50 millimeters or more expected in the southeast inland and coastal belts, coupled with the already saturated soil. This could trigger flash floods in the region. Residents in these areas are advised to remain alert and take necessary precaution. Morning thunderstorms are still likely in parts of Kwara, Niger, the Federal Capital Territory, Kogi, Benue, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. By afternoon and evening hours, these thunderstorms will intensify. More in the northwest, some parts of the northeast and north central, with moderate rains to the southern parts of the country. That's the forecast. Whatever plans you're making for Friday, keep an eye on the weather. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
Well, this is the second conversation for you right now, and of course, there are so many things we need to talk about. Shortly, we're talking about national unity, and of course, what impact would it make when it comes to national development? That's going to form the basis for our discussion this morning. And of course, we will get into that conversation straight away. And of course, our guest is already seated in the studio right here as we get into that conversation. But then, let's just give you a few background as to what this conversation is going to be all about. Nigerians are divided into geopolitical zones. Some persons have said when a bunch of broom is together, it's difficult to get broken, but when it's single, well, it's going to be easy. And some people said, it's a school of thought anyway, some of the persons could differ, and I guess it's actually going to throw light on that. Some people believe that politicians don't want Nigerians to be united because they know if we are united as a nation, we will enjoy more dividends of democracy, and that might be to their disadvantage because you can't take away the great thing from our system. Joining us on the conversation this morning, we have a political analyst, of course, and he's an APC chieftain in the person of Jamil Uthman, popularly known as Young Alhaji. It's good to have you join us on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ramsey. Pleasure to meet you this morning.
Thank you for being a part of the program.
You're welcome.
Nigerians believe that politicians are not interested in us being united. What do you think of that perspective to our discussion today? It's a school of thought. So what do you think? What's your own perspective to that saying?
Thank you this morning to have me here. This is a very simple question. You know, we say we're going to practice a democracy, which is the Britain, the America imposed to us all over the world to be practicing democracy. The reason there is this: we need justice, equity, because if we are in a military era, we believe that we cannot harness what belongs to Nigerian citizens. Let me flash you back. When Nigeria could have had independent 1954, the life of late Awolowo, late Zik, and late Tafawa Balewa. So, Tafawa Balewa. And unfortunately, the Sardauna, the elder statesman in Northern, said Nigeria is to try to grow. I cannot accept independence as of that time in 1954. So, and the Zik said, I am ready the Awolowo said, I am ready. He said, if you people are ready, you guys can go and accept independence. But for me, I'm not ready. They asked him, why? He said, because of the excess of illiteracy in northern region is much. I need to rehabilitate them. This word coming from late Sardauna, blessed memory. The Zik, he was born and brought up in Zogeru in Niger State. He said, okay, I cannot have it alone. I'll stand and wait for you, Sardauna. So remain Awolowo. Awolowo cannot do it alone. He have to succumb because majority carry the vote. They now asked him question, sir, how many years do you want us to give you so that you can do the needful? He said, you'll give me more 6 years. That is the reason why you have independence in 1960. Unfortunately, when you have independence in 1960, the Sardauna, he was so respectful in the whole region. Then he said, Zik, you are going to lead us as a president. Awolowo, you are going to be secretary to the government, and Tafawa Balewa, you are going to be a prime minister. So I, Sardauna, I will remain in legion. Whatever happen, I'm in position to settle any differences, which is everyone know. There's no way you join a place together, they will not touch each other. We are as a human being, because their opinion mind, the union mind, and characteristic is not the same. Automatically, you may try to bring your own agenda, which is not work for other people's agenda. That is number one. When 1960 now reached, then after they divide themselves, the government kick-started. In those days, we do regional politics, geopolitical politics. But there are some circumstances that warrant for us to counter the geopolitical politics, and we should do what we are doing today. I want you to understand today is that Nigeria as a country, we love ourselves. Whether we are Christian, we are Muslim, we are all one. Because the politics try to tear us apart. The politics who try to tear us apart, it is a greedy politician who are self-centered, who are selfishness, who have myopic thinking in many natures. That is why if they thought that maybe if the Nigeria united, they cannot be able to, to use us as a broom to be sweeping ground. Everybody have to stand firmly to defend themselves. And the unity of the country is very, very important, very paramount to Nigeria citizens. But unfortunately, the politicians we are producing, they are negative politicians who have their interest 100%. They don't care what happened to the Nigerian citizen, they are governed.
They don't have the interest of Nigerians in heart.
Nigeria in heart.
Oh.
They are governed. Okay. So that is why you see so many things is happening today. A country where there's no justice, peace cannot prevail in that country. So, like the stage of Nigeria today, everybody say there's no unity. Why? It's because of the present administration, the Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the first person who come out publicly that they want to create Oduduwa before those reference started again that they want to create Oduduwa, lead to a republic. And northern area, I'm from northern. I'm not siding northern. We have our own negative thoughts, but northern is the region that try to embrace, to carry everybody to the unity of the country is paramount to them. So if we see the kind of the present administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he doesn't want there should be unity because all his movement is to divide Nigeria. He has been his dream, but unfortunately, it will not work for him because number one, majority carry the vote. So if they want to do the vote of confidence for Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, I'm sure he cannot gain anything. Because the reason why I said this, if we see all this present administration, the kind of leadership, the kind of people he produced in the office, these are the people who are greedy, self-centered, who believe they can, do undo to Nigerian citizens because they have opportunity and the law is not working. Because if the law is working, so many people that today they emerge as a Senate, up to Senate president, majority leader, like Godswill Akpabio, he was in prison. Before, I don't know how he find a way to become a Senate and a Senate president. Orji Okaru, the same thing. Many of them are entered by law. Today, they are now making the law. That's why you see they are bending the law how they wish. But trust Almighty God. Our wish is not a God wish.
Well, let me comment at this point. You've spoken well. You are an APC chieftain,
yes,
and you're part of this administration.
Sure.
Whether you like it or not, as a party member. Now, there are certain things that I want to point out. You have said the Yorubas wanted creating Oduduwa Republic.
Yes.
And of course, just the Northerners alone that are interested in the unity of this country.
Yeah,
I seem to not so agree with that a little bit because the reasons are these. If we have a Yoruba man here, a Yoruba man will say the same thing. If we have somebody from the east, the person will say the same thing. We've seen, all right, some of the unrest in the country, all right. As it is right now, we have this thing is not common to one region, all right. It's not common to one region. We have the arrest that has been made so far. We have people from both the West, the kidnapping, the insecurity in the country. It's not particular, all right, to maybe the West, the North, this thing alone. Do you think if we are united, we will have all of that? As an APC chieftain, all right, why do you think you are in the party and all of this is going on and you're not satisfied with the party? What has been your effort?
Mr. Ramsey, thanks for this good question. The answer is very simple. You talk about insecurity that happen in a country. Let me update you today. The insecurity that happen in different regions, different states, there's no way I'll come to your constituency, I'll come to your local government, I'll come to your ward without have informant. If you listen to one of the kidnapper, no, it's not a kidnapper. If you listen to Fulani herdsmen, those Fulani that rear cows across the country, they said before they visited any country, the king of that place, there will be letter and approved that we are coming to bring our cow to come and rear in your bush. So, and if you see, like recently, all the kidnappers that apprehended, whether in Benue, they are all Benue citizens, whether in Lagos or Ibadan. The recent one that happened in Oyo State, they have not even arrested any single Fulani. Those people that apprehended is the people of the citizen of Oyo State. Who is deceiving who? The recent children that adopted in Oyo State, the school children, those people that apprehended, how many Fulani did you say there? It is the same Yorubas that hunting themselves, who believe this is the easiest way for them to ask questions. Someone who carry gun to go and do armed robbery on the road, he's already submit his life to God, whether negative or positives. Why? Because that is where he's thinking he can be able to survive. Because the day you discover your talent is the beginning of your poverty reducing. The insecurity that happen in a country, it is the same politician who are fueling it because there's no justice and equity in between them.
But let me ask you a question before you continue. Do you think politicians are using this as a tool?
Yes, because number one, if you know Nigeria very well, our security agencies, the military, the police, the DSS, if they want to work, they can work perfectly. Who is who is bringing them down not to do their needful work is the same politician. The police may arrest kidnapper or bandit. You see a big man, call the police, name your price, whatever you want, and do the needful and free him. That is what is happening on ground. If our policemen travel to neighborhood country, they'll become number 1, number 2, up to number 3. Their policemen, they are very good to do their work, to do investigation whatsoever. They are well trained. But we citizens of Nigeria, we are using it to hunt each other in the name of, I am privileged to be here today. You know, because of we don't tell ourselves the truth, that is why we find ourselves here today. The country is going down every day. That's why I'm telling you that no justice, no peace. Let me tell you another example. You know the name of Boko Haram? In the name of books, you put a siphon economy and you're not giving the citizen of the Borno state the rightful.
Okay, that's the meaning of Boko Haram.
Yes, that's the meaning of yes.
Okay, I thought it's Western education.
No, anti-Western education.
No. Late Mohammed Yusuf, who is the leader of Boko Haram, he's a degree holder. He well read both Islamically and Western education. He can never say it. He said, in the name of Boko Haram, you are not giving us our rightful what we deserve. So you want to think, yes, that's why I say that's what is a Boko Haram.
Okay, Boko Haram is not Western education, it's haram.
No, they will not say Western education is haram. So many people that they are doing kidnapping, 80% of them, they are graduate. The least you can say, they have diploma. What lead to that? What lead to that is agreement between them and Modu Sharif. Among of the Boko Haram, is part of the Boko Haram, they give appointment of Commissioner of Religion and Affairs. The man have to resign. Why? Because he cannot anything, he tell what governor pledged. After governor assumed office, he disappointed them.
All right. You know what? We will have you again because I have so many questions to ask.
No problem.
All right, because that first question that I asked, I didn't really get the answer. You started with it where you said, well, everywhere there is an informant, meaning in the north there is an informant before operation, in the west there is an informant, in the south everywhere there is an informant. So that unity is not there. We still have betrayers, and we need to find a balance how we can fill that gap. Thank you very much for being part of the program today. Our time is up. We would love to have you again. I believe you're giving us the assurance so that you can come again. It's a robust conversation, and I would have loved it to continue.
No, it's fine. We are welcome, my brother.
Thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Mr. Samson.
All right, everyone. This is the size of the conversation for you today. As a matter of fact, the programs that we're taking is the contribution of the various newspaper houses. Global Television does not have a contribution to it. Our guest opinion is entirely theirs and not that of Global Television. And everyone, we wish you a wonderful and robust weekend ahead. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you so much once again, Alhaji Jamil Usman, who is a APC chieftain and a businessman, also known as Young Alhaji, for being a part of the program. Have an amazing day ahead. Bye-bye.